Alright, today I'm going to be going over the decimal ops review. We'll start with number 1. 1 through 4 are just the basic ways of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. When we add decimals, we need to make sure that we line them up. If we have any blank spots, we need to put a 0 in there. We bring our decimal down into the answer and then just add like normal. 0 plus 1 is 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, 2 plus 1 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, and 0, so you get an answer of 25 and 351 thousandths, or 25.351. Number 2, additionally with subtraction, we have to line up our decimals. We bring our decimal into our answer and then we subtract like normal. Can't do 7 minus 8, so borrow from the 5, make it a 4, make this 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. Can't do 4 minus 6, so borrow from this, make this 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. 4 minus 3 is 1, and you get an answer of 1 and 89 hundredths, or 1.89. Number 3 is multiplication. I like to always put the number that has more digits on top. That is called the commutative property of multiplication. In multiplication, we do not need to line up our decimals. We don't worry about our decimal at first. We just multiply, just like this is 1145 times 23. So 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. Before I multiply that by my 2, I've got to put a 0 down. 2 times 5 is 10, carry my 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Now I add these together, and I end up with 26,335. However, I now have to figure out where my decimal goes. To figure out where my decimal goes in multiplication, I come up and find all the digits that are to the right of a decimal, and I find that there are 3 of them. That means I need to have 3 digits to the right of my decimal in my answer. I put my decimal down, and I end up with the answer of 26.335, or 26 and 335 thousandths. Number 4 is division. The second number goes outside of the box. The first number goes inside. When we divide, the number that's outside has to be a whole number. This one doesn't have to be, but this one has to be. So since we don't have a whole number, we need to move our decimal 1 time to the right in order to make this be a whole number. And since I'm moving this 1 time, I have to move this 1 time. Then I just rewrite my question. Bring my decimal immediately into my answer so I don't forget, and divide like normal. 3 into 3 goes once. 3 into 2 goes 0. Notice I'm not bringing the decimal down. 3 into 25 goes 8. Add a 0, bring it down. 3 into 10 goes 3. 3 into 10 goes 3, and we can stop there. We end up with an answer of 10.833, or 10 and 833 thousandths. Number 5 says, in November, I bought nuts every week at the grocery store. They charged me $6.50 per pound. Week 1, I purchased 3.2 pounds. Week 2, I purchased 3.42 pounds. Week 3, I purchased 5.1 pounds. Week 4, I bought 4.32 pounds. And they charged you $6.50 per pound. So this is all the information I'm going to need to be able to solve A and B. A says, about how many pounds of nuts did I buy in November? All right, so to be able to find out how many pounds I bought, I'm going to have to add these numbers. And again, when I'm adding decimals, I'm going to line up my decimals. Any blank spots, I'll put a 0 and bring my decimal into my answer, and then add like normal. 2 plus 2 is 4, 6, 7, 10, 6, 7, 12, wait, sorry, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16. And I end up with 16.2 pounds, which is about 16 pounds. B, what was the total cost, or sorry, what was my total cost for the nuts in November? Well, if I bought 16.2 pounds and they cost me $6.50 each pound, I need to multiply how many pounds I bought by how much it cost me per pound. So I can do 5 times 2 is 10, carry my 1. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 5 times 6 is 30, carry my 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Put my 0 down. Now 6 times 2 is 12, carry my 1. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 6 times 6 is 36, carry my 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Add them together. I end up with 104,130. However, I've got to figure out where my decimal goes now. So I come up to the question and I find out that there's 1, 2, 3 numbers that are right to the decimal. So I need to have 1, 2, 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. And this gives me an answer of $104.130. Well, we don't write money with 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. We only write it with 2 numbers to the right of the decimal. So my answer would be $104.13. If this happened to be a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, I would have rounded this up to 14 cents. Number 6. While shopping at Macy's, my daughter found 2 shirts she really loved and could not decide between them. She decided to get the cheaper shirt. Both of them had an original price of $20. The rainbow shirt was an additional 15% off of the already 25% off price. The doggy shirt was 40% off. Assume no tax for number 6. A, which shirt is cheaper? All right. So to find out how much each shirt costs, there's several ways to answer these. So know that just because maybe you do it a different way doesn't mean it's wrong. I'm just going to go through one of the ways that we've talked about in class. So, A, which shirt is cheaper? Well, we know that the shirt originally cost $20. And one of them had 25% off and then another 15% off. And one of them had just 40% off the total price. So we got to solve for both and find out which one's cheaper. So first thing we're going to do is figure out how much is 40% off. So we're going to multiply times 4.4 or 0.40, because 40% is the same thing as 0.40 or 0.4. Remember to figure out what a percent is as a decimal. This little decimal is hiding right here. We just have to move it twice to the left, and that makes it a percent. So now we have 20 times 0.40, so I'm going to multiply that down here, and I'm just going to use 0.4 since that's the same thing. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 2 is 8. And now I have 1, so I need to have 1, and I end up with 8.0. What that tells me is that the 40% off is like taking away $8. So if it originally cost $20 and it's 40% off, $8 off, then that means that this shirt is $12. And which shirt was that? It says that the doggy shirt. So this is the doggy shirt. The rainbow shirt was 15% off of the already 25% off price. That's a lot more of a step. Okay, so now we have to start with the original $20. And we have to take off the original 25% off. So times 25%, or 0.25. Remember, we started off with 25%. You just move the decimal twice to the left. It makes it a percent. So now I do 20 times 0.25, or commutative property of multiplication. I could do it this way. It's a little easier for me. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. I end up with 500, but I have 2 places to the right of the decimal, So I'll need to have 2 places to the right of the decimal. So this tells me that the reduced price was, with the 25%, was $5 off. So if I take $5 off, sorry, that tells me my price is $15. But then it says it's an additional 15% off. So we have to take the $15 and take off that additional 15%. Remember, 15%, move the decimal twice to the left, you get 0.15. So to find this, we need to multiply. And you get 2 places to the right and 2 places to the right. So you get an additional $2.25 off of the cost. So if I take off that additional $2.25, the rainbow shirt cost $12.75, and the doggy shirt cost $12. That's A. That's a lot of A. B. What was the total cost of the cheaper shirt? So now we've already done this. The doggy shirt was cheaper, and the total cost was $12. We're not talking about tax or anything in this question, so we will move on to number 7. My 2 friends and I went shopping and our car was stolen. We took a taxi home and the bill was $31.19. We decided to give our driver a 15% tip. How much is the tip? How much is the total bill? How much should each person chip in? All right, so to find out the tip, again, we need to take the price times the percent of the tip. We're going to rewrite the percent as a decimal by moving the decimal twice to the left, and that will give us our tip amount. So to solve this, we need to multiply. Remember, multiplication, you do not need to line up decimals. In this case, it just naturally happens. 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 1 is 5, 9, 5, 15. Before I multiply times 1, I got to put my 0 down. 1 times 9 is 9, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3. Now add these together. I end up with 46,785. But then I come up here and say, well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers to the right of a decimal. 1, 2, 3, $4 to the right of the decimal. So if we're talking about a tip amount, it's money, we only go 2 places to the right of the decimal. Now, let's look at this number and this number. Since we're going to cut it off here, we need to decide, is this going to be closer to $4.67 or $4.68? For that, we look right here. If this number's 5 or bigger, we round this up. So since it is 5 or bigger, our tip amount will be $4.68. That's A. B, how much is the total bill? To find the total bill, we will need to add the bill price plus the tip. So our total bill is $35.87. C, how much should each person chip in? Well, we have to remember how many people are actually chipping in. We have 2 friends and I went shopping. So that means we have a total of 3 friends. So we need to take the price and put it in the house and divide it by how many people. So 3 into 3 goes 1. 3 into 5 goes 1. Remember, don't bring your decimal down, that just confuse you. 3 into 28 goes 8, 9. 3 into 17 goes 5. We can't forget about this remainder. We got to figure something out here. So we need to go ahead and add a 0 and bring it down. And 3 into, let me go 6. And then that's 18. Okay, so now we've gone past where we need to go to 4 for money. Remember, we only go 2 places past the decimal. And we end up with $11.95. So again, we're going to be rounding this number. If this number is 5 or bigger, round it up. If it's 4 or lower, leave it the same. So since this is a 6, we're going to say that each person needs to chip in about $11.96. Number 8. Excuse me. I washed my dad and mom's car for $10 each and then did all the laundry and ironing for another $20. My friends and I went to the mall and bought a pretzel for $2.99, a drink for $1.99, and a froyo for $3.65. How much money did I earn was A. How much money did I earn? Well, it said I washed my dad and mom's car for $10 each. So you got $10 from mom, $10 from dad, and did all the laundry and ironing for another $20. Add that together, and you have earned $40. B. If each item I purchased has a 7% sales tax not included in the listed price, how much money did I spend? Okay, so we need to first add up how much we spent: $2.99, $1.99, and $3.65. Since they all have the same sales tax, it's a great idea to just go ahead and find out the total and then add the sales tax on, rather than doing individually finding the amount of tax. So I have 1823, bring my decimal in, 1826, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I spent $8.63, but I need to add the tax on. So it says it's a 7%. Move my decimal twice to the left, put my decimal down, put a 0 in that spot, and I end up with $8.63 times 0.07, or 700. So I'm going to multiply that out. Oh, I don't need to do the next row because it's all zeros. So I end up with 6,031. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 and put my decimal down. Again, we're talking money, so we're going to cut it off right here. I notice that this is below 5, so it'll stay the same. So your sales tax will be 60 cents. And now, but it wants, how much money did I earn? How much money did I spend? So we need to add 60 cents, the sales tax, onto what we originally spent. We spent a total of $9.23. C. Do I have enough money to go to the movie if the ticket costs $10 plus tax? All right, so it said that I had $40. I've only spent $9.23. Let's find out how much the ticket costs. $10 times the sales tax. We rewrite this as 0.07. 1, 2, 1, 2. That means our sales tax is 70 cents. So we have to add that onto our $10, so it's $10.70 to go to the movies. And if you earned $40, then yes, clearly you have enough money to buy the ticket. I hope this is helpful. Study, your test is coming up.